everybody, my name is Jo and I love to read. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my April 2021 reading wrap up. I'm literally gonna be the same old broken tape that I'm sure everybody is, but how bananas is it that it's already May? I don't know about you guys, but the year is going so quick for me, and it's almost like I thought the wedding was the start of the year, and so even though the wedding was at the end of March, it kind of feels like this is the beginning of the year, but it's not really because we are in the 5th month of the year. Like crazy. That is insane. But I'm going to start with a few stats first, because as I said in my physical TBR countdown video, I am going to be keeping track of each month where I'm up to my page counts goals to make sure that I'm on track to get my physical TBR done by the end of August this year. This month I read 3 books and I DNF'd 1 book. The books that I have DNF'd, I'm still going to be counting their pages in this page count goal as having been read technically, because I'm more thinking about it as pages that have been done, so that because it doesn't matter. I mean, I've decided not to read it anymore. It's gone. I get a big boost in my stats, and there's another book that I'm closer to finishing my physical TBR with. As of today, actually, I'm filming this on the 3rd of May, which is like pretty good timing with the end of it. And as of the 3rd of May, I've actually read 1,275 pages. To achieve my goal of having all of my physical TBR done by the end of August, by this date, the 3rd of May, I needed to have been up to page 640. So as you can see, I've totally blitzed it. I've doubled this already, which is absolutely fantastic considering I've only DNF'd 1. I've actually read a really chunky book, which has been really helpful. I did also have a stretch goal to have completed everything by the end of June. I don't know if I'm going to get there because I have been reading at a pretty quick pace and I don't know whether this is going to be sustainable or not. Definitely reading being the first thing that I do when I get home, aside from chores and other good things like that, but prioritizing it before TV and games has been really helpful to getting me reading and getting me in the mood. But also, again, I DNF'd a book, so those were easy pages gone, and then I also fell in love with the last book that I read in April, so I absolutely sped through it, and most days I was reading like 150 pages a night, which is crazy for me because I desperately wanted to know what had happened. Hopefully I'm going to keep speeding through all this stuff as well. I've got a lot of short books left. I think I've only got 1 big book, 1 chunky one left, and then the rest are all small, so hopefully that will motivate me, because generally I find it easier to push through when I know that I'm at the end of the book. The stretch goal page count for today, I needed to have been at 1,184 pages, and like I said, I'm at 1,275, so I'm even beating my stretch goal. But I would need to read, like, the stretch goal is 70 pages a day, which is a little bit kind of quick for me. I can do it if I prioritize it and if I'm enjoying the book, so I'm going to continue trying to read a book as soon as I get home in the evening before doing other relaxing activities and see how it goes. So now that all the stats are out of the way, let's get into the wrap up of the actual books. The first book I finished was The Fiery Heart by Rochelle Mead. This one actually took me longer to read than it should have. I read it for most of March and then into April as well, because one, I was planning the wedding, so I wasn't really reading a lot. It was not the fault of this book. I was really enjoying this, but I felt that every time I sat down to read, I'd be like, have I planned this right? Is something going wrong? What am I, what do I need to think about and do? So unfortunately I couldn't prioritize it much. Then when we got married and went on the honeymoon and we're on holidays, I decided not to read because I was doing other honeymoon things, but I was also playing a lot of Animal Crossing and watching a lot of booktubes, so it wasn't really at the forefront of my mind. But finally, when I gave this book some time in April, I blitzed through the rest of it. This was really interesting. So The Fiery Heart is the 4th book in the Bloodlines series, which is a spin-off series from Rochelle Mead's Vampire Academy series. This one features Adrian as the main character and Sydney as the main character and Jill as the main character. If you don't know who these people are, then you need to go read the first series, because this series is so much better after you've read Vampire Academy. But basically the premise, I don't even think I can talk about the premise for this because it kind of gives things away, but all of these people in this spin-off series are thrown together who are totally unlikely friends, and they start developing like friends and bonds and things like that because they were thrown together because of this situation. It's really fun watching these characters interact together that in the original series, if you read it, you wouldn't expect them to be together. This again kicks it up as well. I love the romance and the tension in this. It is one of my favourite romance tropes to read. The characters have to have a secret romance for reasons of the plot. That is the main thing that I remember about this, because I read these mainly for the romance. I'm a little bit interested in the plot and expanding upon the world of the Vampire Academy series, but it's mainly the romance, and this book did not disappoint at all, and it ended on a cliffhanger, and I really need to know what happens, so I'm reading the next book, and it better end good, because I don't want another sad thing to happen like my last book in April. Keep watching this wrap up to find out what I was talking about. But oh man, I'm hoping this delivers, because this book certainly did. This installment was fantastic, and I loved the romance. I loved it so much. So I am really looking forward to the next one. This is the book that I DNF'd, City of Swords by Mary Hoffman, which is the 6th book in the Stravaganza series. This was pretty sad of me to actually DNF it, because I picked up this series again for the first time. Picked up this volume as an adult to finish out the series, being the last book, but it was actually really disappointing. The plot was very thin. It didn't give me a lot of reasons to care about the characters. We were just supposed to care, but it was also very conflicting as to whose sides we were supposed to be on, because the bad guy wasn't exactly a bad guy, and the main character was in love with this bad guy, even though there wasn't really a reason for them to be in love. It was massive insta love, and there were also some other conversations around mental illness and self-harm that I don't think were done well, at least from, you know, I'm not any authority, so that's just from my point of view, but I really don't think that they were done well, which frustrated me to no end, as well as the insta love. So unfortunately I DNF'd this one at page 140. I will be unhauling this one. I don't want to read it again. I don't want to finish it. I don't care to. I did skip to the end to watch, to read about a wedding of two characters that I've been waiting for them to get married for such a long time, and that was really nice, albeit it did feel a little bit rushed as well. I'll definitely be rereading this series as a part of my sort of rereading project that I'm going to be taking on as well after my TBR is 0. But this one is a volume that I'm not going to. I'm just going to let it end at the 5th book and have that be that. If you're interested in more of my in-depth thoughts on this one, stick around with my channel, because I'm actually going to be doing a spoilery video that is all about, in detail, why I DNF'd this. That'll be coming out later on, probably this weekend, so look out for that one. The next books I finished was a short one, Distance Runner, which is book 51 in the Thoroughbred series. This series is created by Joanna Campbell, but this particular volume was written by Jennifer Chu. Feels like it's been such an age since I finished this book. I'm trying to remind myself of what happened. I suppose that can tell you how I felt about it. There's not a lot to say about this one. I didn't really have an issue with the plot with it as I have in others that have felt just a bit kind of made up. This series as a whole is made up because it is young, like kids starting from ages 12 that are riding racehorses, which is kind of dangerous and scary because they are very, very hard to control animals. It's a fluff read, it's a nostalgia read, even though I haven't really finished the entire series yet. It is one of my goals to finish this. I do enjoy reading them, but this particular volume was just a bit, there were some horse race scenes which were pretty cool, there was some logic, but unfortunately with a lot of the second generation, which is Christina, she's the second generation, her mum was the original series and now she's grown up, had her own kid, hence Christina. She's a little bit frustrating because a lot of Christina's problems are that, oh my god, my horse is doing something that I don't like and I don't know what it's doing, and then someone will be like, hey, why don't you do this? And she'll be like, no, I know my horse the best, and then at the end of the book she'll find out, oh, they were right, but she won't actually admit that they were right. So they're just, you know, light fluff, fun, enjoyment. That's all there is to say about that. And then the last book I finished is The High Lord by Trudy Cannabin, the 3rd book in the Black Magician trilogy. I realised I haven't rated any of these books, but I don't really mind because ratings are kind of difficult for me to do. I end up rating a lot of things like 4 or 3 stars, and it's just like meh. Like I feel like meh because either I'll DNF them or I haven't actually read enough to know super what I'm gonna rate 5 stars, but everything else mainly I give 3 to 5 stars, so I don't super care about ratings. This I gave 5 stars, definitely. I loved it and it friggin' broke my heart as well. I'm going to be having a dedicated spoiler review of this one coming out later on in the month as well. I can't really tell you much about the plot of these books because we are in the third book of the trilogy and it continues on from a cliffhanger, so it is quite obvious if I was to say, and I would spoil things for people, but the start of the trilogy is about a girl called Sania who has lived her whole life in the slums, and when the magicians in the guild find out that she has very, very strong magical powers, she is enlisted into the guild to become a magician and chaos ensues from there. This one was a really great installment. It's told in two parts that are very clearly defined. I absolutely loved it. The first half was really interesting because we were expanding upon the world building of the magic system, which we haven't really done before. And then the second part absolutely kicked the notch up. Things got into high gear and they were insane. And I was just reading insane amounts every day, wanting to know what the heck happened in this book. And then the ending broke my heart, even though I agree with it. And it was just a fantastic book and you should all go and read this series. I wouldn't blame you though if you didn't get through the second book because that was a little bit rough to kind of like push through it, but it was so friggin' worth it for this book. I would probably though reread the first one, maybe not the second unless I was really feeling like it, and just jump onto this third one. I'm really looking forward to rereading it again when I can slow down a bit and not be rushing through everything, just to kind of like carefully read instead of just wanting to know what was happened. And the only other final parting note that I wanted to give to this one is something that probably only Doctor Who fans will understand, but I will put a image up here so you know what I'm talking about. But the magicians in this book, in the guild, use this system to vote, which means they all conjure up this this white light globe, and it changes either white or it goes to black if they agree or it goes to red if they agree or disagree. And whenever they do that, all I picture is the Ood from Doctor Who. Just the Ood with the... It makes me giggle every time. That is it for the books that I read in April. I had a really productive reading month. I'm so proud of myself. It was so much fun. I was having a great time with it. Now I am going to be doing a slightly interactive thing with you guys that I want some help with. So I have, let me go and count. As of today, I have 12 books. I was about to hold up 12 books left on my physical TBR, and I'm finding it really difficult as I'm coming down to the wire to decide what I wanted to read next. I was a little bit slumpy after getting my heart... just knock something over, it's fine. I was a bit slumpy after getting my heart broken with this book here, but I'm kind of back and I'm happy to be reading the next installment in the Bloodlines series. But I am finding it really difficult to know what to prioritize and what to read, because obviously if I've kept these books this long, I do want to read them, but also because I've kept them this long, they're not things that I am desperate to read. So I want you guys to help me and motivate me and help me pick things, kind of like how on Netflix you hit the button every now and then going, pick something for me, and it shows you something, and if you hadn't been scrolling through you would have said no, but because it's put it on you're like, oh okay, I'm actually into that. So we're going to be doing another round of subscribers choose my TBR, and I want you guys to pick a number between 1 and 12 and I will read those books. Hopefully not too many people will I mean, I'm going to read the books anyways, but I'm hoping this will kind of help me narrow down something that I may want to read and then kind of kickstart that process again. But let me know in the comments below what number that you pick. I'll do a quick video on it showing, you know, subscribers have picked my TBR. It'll be like, I'll leave this open. Do I want to do that video this weekend maybe then? Yeah, actually, I might change my video scheduling, because otherwise you'll see in my reading vlog, because I would hope that I get Silver Shadows finished. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move my review. So I'm going to push the City of Swords review away, and I'm sure you guys will want to break from that as well, because I've been talking about the same books for like weeks. So that is going to be on this weekend. So I'm going to leave the commenting open until maybe Friday night or something like that, so that then I can film it, though I'll be out on Friday and out on Saturday. So I'm setting myself up for a good quick weekend. unless I decide to film Thursday night, but that won't give a lot of people time to read and comment. So I'm going to go Saturday. I'm going to leave it out till Saturday afternoon when I will sit down and pick and decide what to read. So thanks everybody so much for watching my videos again. I'm so excited that people are still commenting and talking to me. Please continue to do it. I'm at about 90 subscribers at the moment. Don't forget, I'm still going to be doing a giveaway at 100 subscribers, which may seem a bit early, but for me, I've been doing this for a while and I want to say thanks, and I can, so why not? Who doesn't love free things? So tell your friends, get them interested, get them to check out my videos. If they like me, get them to follow me, and I will talk to you guys this weekend with the books that you guys have decided that I'm going to read next. Bye!